Speaker, the principal objective of the bill is to amend the Sexual Offences Act, to amend the Cabinet Secretary responsible for legal affairs, to promote public awareness on sexual offences through nationwide education and information campaigns. Honorable Speaker, Section 2 of the Sexual Offences Act defines a sexual offence as an offence prescribed under the Act. These offences include rape, sexual assault, defilement, sexual harassment, among others. The National Policy for Prevention and Response to Gender-Based Violence defines gender-based violence as acts of gender-based violence that result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering. Therefore, sexual offences are considered to be acts of gender-based violence, which are serious, far-reaching negative offences, effects including psychological trauma, social stigmatization, infections, and unwanted pregnancies. Madam Speaker, why I'm having this bill on awareness and advocacy is because if we don't teach the masses or the public about these offenses, they will continue recurring, such that if they are given the knowledge on how they should carry themselves, we will have a safer society, Madam Speaker. For example, if we have more campaigns on sexual offenses, we will definitely teach on prevention, because if the law is spelled out clearly, many people might abide by it, hence making a safer society for our young girls, even the women. We will also, Madam Speaker, be encouraging the community to be up in response. When the community is aware of these offenses, when they hear of such acts, they will be the first ones in reporting these offenses. They can either report to the chiefs, to the police, or even to any administrator around, Madam Speaker. Lately, in our villages, we have the community health promoters. If this information, Madam Speaker, reaches out to the community health promoters, they will definitely be spreading the messages on the sexual offenses, hence reaching deeper into the villages. There's a time, Madam Speaker, where I'm so interested about the awareness. You find that sometimes when the girls are defiled, the first thing, Madam Speaker, the parents tell the girls is that please go and shower so that we go and see the doctor. Disadvantage of this, Madam Speaker, is when the girls, for example, anyone who has been defiled takes a shower, you definitely, Madam Speaker, interfere with the evidence. When you go to the hospital, you will be told, it seems everything is okay. But this, when we have no evidence, Madam Speaker, definitely there is no case. So when we have our children, the community, having sensitized on the, having this information, we will then offer justice, Madam Speaker, to the victims. We also, why I'm advocating in this bill on the awareness and advocacy, we have the bystanders intervention. These ones, they are those when they've heard of these, maybe you report, you are storing to someone, you are saying, oh, yesterday in this village, such and such a thing happened. These bystanders, when they know well and they are briefed about sexual offenses, they will definitely, Madam Speaker, maybe report the matter or talk about it, and in the process of talking about it, people will have known, and maybe somewhere a well-wisher can report this offense. There is victim blaming, Madam Speaker, in our society. You find, for example, when a girl has been defiled, they will start asking the victim. The victim is in pain, But the people surrounding, they will be asking the victim, first of all, explain to me what happened. The victim will say, I had gone maybe to the supermarket to buy something, and then I was defiled. Then the community will be harsh on asking, what time was it? The victim will say, oh, it was around 7 p.m. or even 8 p.m. The first instance, the victim will be told, but you are the problem. Why were you out late in the night? Okay, if it's not about the time, Madam Speaker, the victims will be asked, what were you wearing? Then the victim maybe will say, okay, maybe even before the victim explains what she was wearing, she will be asked, were you wearing a short skirt? Were you wearing a tight dress? Then the victim will be told, my friend, you are the reason as to why you are defiled, because you seduced or you looked more ready to be defiled. So such awareness, Madam Speaker, is what is in this bill. The victims must know their rights. There are those who are being, maybe by the uncles or even the parents, who will say, you are not supposed to report. If you report, you are going to bring shame to yourself or bring shame to the community. So the victims in this bill, Madam Speaker, its main intent is that they should be aware, Madam Speaker, of their rights, and they should be encouraged at all times to report such matters. So, Madam Speaker, one of the challenges emerging from the implementation of gender-based violence-related laws, including the Sexual Offences Act, is lack of advocacy and public awareness, which, Madam Speaker, has made me to be brave enough and stand here and say, we should now start from advocacy and awareness. Therefore, the bill seeks to address this gap in law by mandating the responsible cabinet secretary to promote public awareness on sexual offenses through nationwide education and information campaigns. Madam Speaker, even during the assemblies, assemblies happen maybe on Mondays or Fridays every week. These, during this time of the assemblies, Madam Speaker, learners can be taken through of all this so that they can be aware on how they can handle themselves. This will also help in curbing the ever-rising cases of sexual offenses and address the menace of gender-based violence. I remember during COVID, Madam Speaker, people didn't know on how to carry prevention measures. But when the Ministry of Health came out clearly and told people, be wearing masks, avoid being in congested places, there was a curfew which was placed at that particular time, and slowly the country adjusted to ways of ending COVID. Such awareness and advocacy, Madam Speaker, if it is done in schools, then definitely we will be dealing with the sexual offenses in the best way possible to curb more offenses. Madam Speaker, the bill further mandates the Cabinet Secretary, in consultation with the Cabinet Secretary responsible for education, to establish programs to safeguard, protect, and promote the right to education of victims of sexual offenses, including victims of teenage pregnancies. There are some schools, Madam Speaker, where they tell the girls, you are, for example, they were defiled and they are pregnant, or not even defilement, they engaged in early sex, the teachers will tell them, you are now a mother. Go home and take care of your child. But in the recent world, Madam Speaker, we have second chances to learners. If these girls are given hope that it is not your last time, you can always pursue what you wanted to be in future, with or without a child. It's not a full stop. It's not a comma. It is just that it's something which has happened, and the girls can always be encouraged to go back to school. And they should know that it is not a criminal offense, Madam Speaker, rather a mistake which can be corrected. And it's not encouraging the girls that now they have to get pregnant because there will always be a second chance. But this is to the victims. However, Madam Speaker, when it comes to victims of sexual violence, this right is often undermined by systemic issues such as stigma, fear of judgment, and lack of support services. There are so many people, Madam Speaker, who can be witnesses and say, it was really horrible when such a thing happened to me. I didn't have anyone by my side to tell me what I was supposed to do. Because maybe the nearest person who came near me told me that after being defiled and maybe you're pregnant, the best thing you should do is to do an abortion. So to address this issue and ensure continued access to education, the victims require specialized support in form of psychological and counseling to help victims cope up with the trauma and make it easy to continue with their education. Therefore, through the requirement of establishing programs by the Cabinet Secretary in the ministry responsible for education, the right to education of victims of sexual violence will be safeguarded. Madam Speaker, I beg to move and call upon Honorable Cynthia Muge to second the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Sorry, to second the bill, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I rise to second this motion or bill, like the mover wants to call it. And Honorable Speaker, I want to say a few items while seconding this particular amendment bill. Honorable Speaker, as you can see, the Sexual Offences Act was passed in this House in the year 2006. And Honorable Speaker, like I have said before, time and again, that this country does not suffer from lack of very well articulated acts of parliament, Honorable Speaker. Because if you look at the history and if you look at the matters that actually affect issues to do with sexual offenses, we even have the Protection Against Domestic Violence Bill of 2015, Honorable Speaker. We also have the Prohibition of Female Genital Mutilation Act, Honorable Speaker, of 2011. We have the Children Act of 2022, Honorable Speaker, and we even have the Victim Protection Act of 2014. Honorable Speaker, with all these acts of parliament that have been signed, Honorable Speaker, into law, that are supposed to be guiding how to deal with those issues that are affecting the community at large, Honorable Speaker, you wonder why we still have issues. And to pay attention to this particular amendment, Honorable Speaker, of the bill of the Sexual Offences Act 2006, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Doris Donya, the member for Kisii, Honorable Speaker, has concerns about the low reporting rates of the sexual offences, Honorable Speaker. She has issues with the poor enforcement of these particular laws and policies that have been put in place. Honorable Speaker, she has a problem with victim blaming. Honorable Speaker, you ask yourself, why do we still handle victim blaming? That because you are raped, because you are defiled, we find a reason to actually to blame you for having been raped or defiled. Honorable Speaker, you wonder why we still do not have survivor-friendly centers in our counties and in our constituencies and in our wards and in our locations and even villages, Honorable Speaker. You wonder, Honorable Speaker, why we have all these acts of parliament totaling to more than 6 that are speaking close to the same matter. But, Honorable Speaker, we still lack knowledge on the rights that each and every Kenyan, each and every woman, each and every man in this country has, Honorable Speaker. We also wonder why we still have pathetic coordination between the police, between the health care facilities, and even the judiciary. You wonder why, Honorable Speaker. And the thing, the item that the Honorable Doris Donya is trying to address in this bill, Honorable Speaker, is why we have very good bills, why we have very good acts of parliament, why we have very good policies, but we cannot then see the results that are being that are coming out better because we have those bills. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, she's saying we must be able to create awareness and be able to come up with advocacy. And Honorable Speaker, I want to say that I support this with all my being, because, Honorable Speaker, if we get the advocacy, if we get the awareness of these items and these rights that the people have, that they should be knowing that they have, Honorable Speaker, then we might be able to then sort out the issues. Because, Honorable Speaker, if you go back at home, you find a little girl who has been defiled. The girl is 11 years old. The girl is 14 years old. And you find that after they have been defiled, Honorable Speaker, the mother, just like Honorable Doris Donya, or the father, or the guardian who is around there, asks them to take a shower, Honorable Speaker. As soon as you take the shower, Honorable Speaker, when you go to report and you tell the police officer that there is a situation, I have been defiled, this girl has been raped, whatever has happened, the first question they would ask you is, we need to be able to take a sample from you. And you go to the hospital. The next question that you ask at the hospital, Honorable Speaker, is, have you showered? And the answer is yes. As soon as your answer turns yes to showering, Honorable Speaker, the case starts becoming crippled. Why? Because they claim that we can then not get the evidence. Honorable Speaker, the reason why the mothers, the reason why the fathers, the reason why the guardians ask these children to be able to shower is because of victim shaming, is because of lack of knowledge, Honorable Speaker. And this particular amendment to this bill is going to finally give us a solution to this, so that every person who lives in this country, Honorable Speaker, can be able to know that when this happens to you, what is the next course of action? When this one is done to you, where do you go next? You get to know the do's and the don'ts when you are in a situation. And Honorable Speaker, I think if you're able to finally get the office of the Cabinet Secretary to be able to diligently handle this particular matter, then our community and our society will be properly aware of this, the next course of action when they are faced with a certain situation. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that I support this so that finally, Honorable Speaker, we can be able to have strengthened prosecution procedures so that we can be able to meet every requirement every step of the way, so that, Honorable Speaker, even those ones who are going on with defiling young children, you know, Honorable Speaker, you find a joke in the internet. Every time they see school girls, small girls, they are told, just open your eyes and look at that girl, but remember that the years that you will serve in jail is 30 years. That is the kind of awareness, Honorable Speaker, so that before you actually make the mistake, you actually defile or rape a girl or whatever you're doing, you must also know from start to end what awaits you in the future. So, Honorable Speaker, I support this amendment towards this bill, so that, Honorable Speaker, all the people, all the stakeholders, all the people that have different responsibilities in different sectors can be able to know what is expected of them, and even as a victim, you get to know what is expected of you. If we are able to do this, Honorable Speaker, we'll finally have a better way of implementing the very good acts of parliament that we have in this country, so that we can protect our people, protect our girls, protect our boys, protect the women and the men of this country, Honorable Speaker. With that, Honorable Speaker, I beg to second